If you want to just open your Bibles at Matthew 28. I just want to use this as just a little text for a few moments to talk. I haven't really talked about the Arctic in any way or showed you any pictures. I've just shared some thoughts and reflections upon that and talk a little bit about mission. I want to show you first of all some pictures from the Arctic. They're in no particular order. I wanted to give you an image of what it's like up there, and I'll talk you through some things. And I just want to say one or two experiences, some of my experiences, and something about mission, particularly Celtic mission and stuff like that. This is, I hope you can see it all clear. Maybe if you can put off a light or something at the front, that would be good, just to make it clearer. Could somebody just put off a light for me? Thanks, Trevor. Just to give that little bit of clarity. This is actually as we're leaving, and this is the town of Baker Lake, where we were. The bit at the top, the funny bit at the top, is a lake that's frozen, and that's basically the whole town, and there's no roads or anything like that into the town. The only way you can get in there is by plane, and so it's like that for a part of the year. Thank you. Next. That's just me. Just to show you, I had to do a selfie in the Arctic. It's not my best side, but people were concerned when I put Facebook pictures on that I didn't have a hat on, but I had a hat on, and there you go. Thank you. We'll get rid of that as soon as possible. This is Bishop Adam. Bishop Adam is a Cree. The Cree, we would know him as Native Indians. Over in Canada, they're now called First Nation people. So anybody who's original inhabitants, Native Americans, the Apaches, Comanches, the Crees, stuff like that, are now known as First Nation people. And so Adam is a Cree, and he's a bishop of Saskatoon, which is in Saskatchewan. And he came up to be chaplain for the conference, and he had to leave after 2 days because one of his nephews committed suicide when we were there. And it just highlighted one of the subjects we were talking about, which was suicide. The youngest person he had buried as a minister was 14 years old from suicide. And so it's quite rife among the Inuit people and the Cree people. Thank you. That's just a view. Just so you know, ministry is hard. That's a view from my hotel room. I had to wake up every morning. That's actually at sunset when the sun's going down. So it was very beautiful, and that's looking over the lake. I fell down that ice and hurt myself, just to let you know. Thank you. Just as you go around, I just want to take images of what it's like. These are just caribou antlers, and I'll show you some other stuff later on. We ate a lot of caribou. Thank you. And these are just images of Baker Lake, and this is a typical town up in the Arctic, up in that area, in the Inuit community. Thank you. Again, just different pictures. Thank you. Next one. And as you can see, there's lots of snow that was there. When we had the conference and we'd break for coffee, there would be coffee, but always these came out. And you can see there's snow all over it. That's actually caribou. And they would kill caribou, put it in the ground and leave it for 6-7 months and then bring it out again. And he's a minister in a place called Arviat, and that's Joe, and he's got an axe there. And so you go and get your cup of coffee, you get the axe and just chip off a part of the raw caribou and then eat it with your cup of coffee. And it's not quite so bad as it sounds, but that's what you do. I think you see the rest of it in the next slide. That's what it ends up like. It doesn't look particularly appetizing, does it? But it's not bad. And that's what you eat that's instead of chocolate biscuits. So maybe we'll have some of that over there. Thank you. This is just on the ice. I just loved the ice. It was quite unnerving. We talk about walking on water, and this is a huge lake. And it's 8 foot thick of ice, and you see cars on it and stuff like that. And so the first time I walked on it, you feel very nervous. Even though you know it's 8 foot thick, you feel quite nervous because you see these cracks. And that's what it can be like, can't it, when you go into a new thing? You know, really, it's safe, a new spiritual thing, or the church is changing, or you think, actually, yeah, I think it's going to be safe, but it's still a little bit nerve-wracking. I just loved, you can actually see just about down there into the water. And so this is just, I think the next one's me walking on water, just so that you can, not that one, sorry, the next one. That's me walking on water, just so you know that I can do it. I've proved myself now that I have walked on water. Thank you. This is just one of the churches that is opposite the community hall, and this is a Glad Tidings church. That's a wonderful name for a church, isn't it? Glad Tidings, and this was I think it was a white, either Canadian or British girl who went up and over and lived up there in the Arctic, and she planted all these churches called the Glad Tidings Church. It's quite a remarkable testimony, and also you can see this is in the shape of an igloo. Thank you. I've completely forgotten his name. I cannot remember his name, but pray for him. He's the dean of the cathedral in Iqaluit in Baffin Island, so he works quite closely with Darren, because Darren lives in Baffin Island, and it's a new cathedral there, and he's the dean of the cathedral, and he and his wife were at the conference. They are so hungry for God's Spirit to move. Every opportunity, they just wanted prayer to be filled with the Spirit of God. And they were just right there, yeah, pray for us. 2 of their sons have committed suicide through depression. And yet they're hungry for more of God's Spirit and for revival. And so they live up in Baffin Island. His name will come to me. I just love this little man. I can't remember, I don't know his name. But he just walked around with this big smile on his face. Worship would be going on, and he would just look around and just a huge smile. Just loves the Lord, loved what was happening. And it was just a blessing. I think he was fantastic. I wanted to take him home with me and bring him home here because he was so delightful to be with. Thank you. The person on the left is, I can't remember her name, but she's a Cree. I can't remember many of the names because they're all quite complicated names. She's a Cree, and she lives in the western part of the New West Territories, and she's a deacon and ministers among the Cree people. And the lady in the middle is an Inuit person, and she lives in Rankin Inlet, and she's a lay minister down in Rankin Inlet. And a lot of the lay ministers, all the clergy were paid to be there, but all the lay ministers paid for themselves to be there, and they were so hungry and desperate to be there that they paid the money, and it's quite expensive to fly up there. You can't go by road. This is one of the modes of worship, and at one point we had 3 accordions in the one worship band. I've never seen that happen. I don't think that will ever be beaten again, but 3 accordions in the worship band. So thank you. Just some of the kids that were playing. The kids are always completely covered, and they like to slide in the snow. And they don't have much to do up there apart from slide in the snow. What shall we do now? We'll go and slide in the snow. So that's what they did most of the time. Thank you. This is just the local Anglican church. A couple of the times we were in the local Anglican church, we had a service in there. There's no toilets in any Anglican church up there because they freeze, so you have to hold it and pray for short services and short sermons. Otherwise, you're in real trouble because you can't go into the snow because obviously, for whatever reason, snow is white and whatever. And this is just worshiping. The big guy with the white hair, with his hand in the hair, in the air, he's the diocesan bishop. He's Darren's boss, and he's David, and he was just a wonderful man of God. He looks like Grizzly Adams. You can't quite see his face. He's got a big beard, big guy, 6'6". Just a hunger for the Lord. He lives over in Yellowknife, which is in the Northwest Territories, quite far away. And Darren lives in the east. He lives in the west. And just a lovely, genuine, passionate heart for the people, and such a hunger for the Lord. Thank you. The next one. Just the worship. There's another accordion there. And we were just worshiping in the church. Thank you. Next one. And there's just to show David McClay. That's the back of David. David and I went out together, and he's there obviously worshiping the Lord. And I just found this really hilarious. It was wonderful. This is backpacks for kids, and it's coats, and the children are put into the hood, and the mother can bring the hood up. So they're completely covered, and you just see these babies. They can go up to about 4 years old in these hood jackets, and I've never seen them before, and I thought that was fascinating. Thank you. This is another mid-morning snack, which is beluga whale, and Darren McCartney tricked me, and he said, "Try it." I said, "I'll just have a little piece," and he went, "Okay." I said, "That's a big piece." He said, "No, that's a really small piece. Eat it, Alan." And I ate it, and it was a big piece. And he was just creasing about, laughing, because it doesn't taste very much, but it is incredibly chewy, and you really have to. And there was a lady called Nellie who still Facebooks me there saying, "Alan, breathe." breathe, because you see I was holding my breath. But it was a good experience just to try something different. Thank you. On the last night, the second to last night, the community. I mean, obviously, if you're a community that's cut off, and this bunch of people come in, they were so exciting. So they did a community feast for us, and we were all sitting around the edge, and these ladies just cooked in all these big pots on the floor, and you just had to come in and just eat whatever. And that's all caribou. I think there's a picture of the delicious food. It actually was quite nice. And the next one, thank you. Just the food in there, and that's just big bits of caribou, and I don't know what else is in there. And the next one, thank you, is me just eating some of the caribou. And caribou was very, very nice. I really enjoyed eating caribou. Thank you. There's Darren. There's Darren, you'll recognize Darren. And there's David. You see what I mean? He looks like Grizzly Adams. He looks like a Canadian. And both of these guys are... Darren is just in such the right place. I saw freedom in Darren. Just a real freedom. He was there just with his hands up in the air, just worshiping the Lord. And he loves being out there. He loves the people. He speaks in Inuktitut quite well. He can read it really quite well. And so he was doing some of that. And David, you couldn't ask for a better man to work with. And so these two guys are really seeking God's kingdom to come upon the whole of northern Arctic Canada. So do pray for Darren and for David. Thank you. Just to give you a picture, this is where we had most of our meetings, and there was lots of people come along, and it was great fun. Thank you. Again, just a different picture, and then I think we'll just come to a close. There's another accordion. Darren and the Baran. There, thank you. Again, just different images of where we were. Thank you. And we were just driving around, we saw this polar bear skin. Somebody had handed a polar bear. You can even see its eyes at the top. You see its eyes? And that's what they do. I've never seen so much fur in my life. Fur everywhere, but it's the way they survive. And if a polar bear comes, they'll shoot it and eat it. And those are Arctic foxes. Who needs a deep freeze when you've got the Arctic? And they just were shot. They would be skinned and eaten. And yeah, my children found that particularly gross. And the young people, they don't really have much to go. So obviously, ice hockey is big. And every night there was ice hockey. Every single night. And I think that's the last one.